To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. Okay, so we're here in a very cold morning. We got a little dusting of snow. Finally! It has snowed to the north of us, the east of us, west of us, south of us. But it hasn't snowed here, so now we got a dusting. Woohoo! Here we got to suffer with all this cold, and we don't even get the pleasure of snow. This morning, I'm a little late getting started on our tiny house build. I have gotten a few steps done already. I've gotten the 1x4s on, and I got my little sample piece or my little scrap piece on to show me how far out I need to measure. I've taken a chalk line and I've dropped it down so I know where my line is down here at the bottom. I got a little line right there. I'm sure you can see that little white spot right there on the frame. That's caulk. I put some caulk there. I noticed the other day when it rains, water runs down the frame of the trailer and onto the floor joist. And I was worried that's gonna rot. Now, of course, we're gonna have a porch here eventually, and that may not be a problem in the future, but until I get the porch on, I didn't want that to get wet. Like I said, I'm running a little late this morning. It snowed, so that means I had to dust off the solar panels. And last night, Carolyn and I went grocery shopping. Now, I want to explain this real quick. In the past, I've always said to go to the grocery store early in the morning. That way, you can get your meat in the freezer. You turn your freezer all the way up, and that way your solar panels can run the refrigerator all the day and then freeze it while it's running. And then at night, you turn your refrigerator back down to normal, and it won't run through the night using up all your stored energy in your batteries. Well, that's great in the summertime, but in the wintertime, the refrigerator does not run, I think below 40 degrees, I think is what it is. Now, if your meat's already frozen, it works fine, no problem. We've not had any problems with our meat thawing out. We packaged our meat last night and we set it in the house, and it's freezing in there. It's getting pretty firm now. Of course, it's supposed to get up above 32 degrees today, so we're gonna say, okay, put it in the fridge, let it stay cool, and then again at night we'll put it back out. These are just some of the little tricks that we've learned living off grid. Now, of course, you could put your refrigerator inside, but we live in this little camper, and it was really handy to put the refrigerator outside and just deal with these little minor inconveniences. You know, we just have this little bitty refrigerator, apartment-sized refrigerator, and it's worked great for us. We've had it for 3 years. As a nomad, we travel around with it. But it was nice to have the added space by setting it outside. Last night when we went to the grocery store, we made it there just fine, but then went on a return trip. I noticed the heater wasn't working. So I shut the heater off, turned it back on, and then it was working. And I looked down at the engine temperature, and it was climbing up. It was getting hot. And then it would stay hot for a few minutes and it would shoot back down. It would stay at the normal operating temperature for a while, and then it would get too cold and it'd get too hot. So I'm pretty sure I got a bad thermostat. So this morning I had to go around calling for a mechanic. You know, we're new to this particular area of Missouri. I lived on the east side of Missouri. Here we're in southwestern area of Missouri. So I don't know anybody. I don't even know any good mechanics. Found one on Google that has really good reviews. Close by, I can walk back and forth. I mean, it'd be a long walk, but I can walk that distance. So I called him on Friday. I got to take it in. Now, I know a lot of people will say, oh, you could fix that yourself. And you're right, I could. I probably could. But here's the thing. I'm a minimalist, so I don't have a lot of tools. All I need really is a 10mm socket, a screwdriver, and a pair of pliers. I mean, that's basically all I need. You have to take the tire off on this Chevy to get to it. And the inside wheel well, you gotta take that off. But here's my thinking. I'm trying to build a house. So I don't want to stop to sit around fixing a $225 maintenance problem. Secondly, if it's not the thermostat, then I'm gonna be chasing my tail. Third, I gotta drive all the way to where we were last night, which I guess is about 30 or 40 miles, maybe 30 miles, to get the parts and then drive all the way back. If for some reason I get into it and it doesn't work, then I have a vehicle that is in worse shape than it was before, and now I gotta get back to the auto parts store. So I just figured it's Instead of having to go through all that, it would be just better. Then I can stay focused on the house. I don't have to stress about the car. You only get 3 hours a day to do anything. I got to work in the afternoon. I want to get it done before it gets real cold. I mean, it's already cold now, but when it gets down into the teens and the single digits, I don't want to be out here. Okay, now, yesterday, I had a bunch of ladies in the comment section tell me there's an easier way to do this. And it's a brilliant idea. Now, what I've been doing is I've been measuring. And I know that it is confusing people on what I'm talking about because my watch time has just plummeted. About the time I start talking about the measurements, people stop watching. These ladies said what I need to do is I need to put a piece of paper up there, cardboard, whatever I got, and then I can trace out what I need. So essentially what I need is about a 3-foot, 1-inch wide piece of paper that goes all the way down to the bottom here, all the way to the top, and then I can cut it out, set it on my metal, then I can trace that out on my metal and cut out the metal. So I tried that this morning because I thought, man, this is a good idea. I really want to make that work. And I wasn't doing it for myself. I wanted to show you an alternative. Oh, it was a disaster. It was terrible. I used this felt paper. I got a little bit of this felt paper left. And I'm not going to use it for anything, I don't think. Maybe I will in the future. So I thought, I'll just use the felt paper. Now, a couple of problems with me using felt paper is I don't have a lot left, and essentially I would have to use a new sheet almost every time because I'd have to cut out the door, and every panel is different. The problem is I'm working by myself. That's the only problem with this technique is I can't do it by myself. You can see the ladder, first thing, is in the way. So I would have to set the ladder over here, but then I couldn't reach over here to get the paper up. So then I would try to drag the ladder back and hold the paper up with the ladder, but then it would be, crooked and cockeyed, and I'd be, trying to shift back and forth, and it was getting dangerous because I was jumping on the ladder is what I was doing, trying to get it to work. And then the wind would blow, and that didn't work. So here's what I'll say about the paper technique, is it's a genius idea. And if you don't know how to do this, where you're measuring out both sides and cutting out the angle, then use the paper technique, but you're going to need some help doing that. So you need to be able to have someone who can get on a ladder and help. Now, I know a lot of people seem to think that Carolyn needs to be participating more in this build. She's done all the interior walls. I want to mention that. I don't ask Carolyn to do a lot because she's got a bad back. And the more I can preserve her back, the healthier she is. She can come around, she can do the things she can do. But if she's laid up all the time, then I'm taking care of her and having to build a house at the same time. So it's smarter to do it myself, so I'm not injuring her and laying her up for 2 weeks. Every time she gets injured, it's a 2-week layup and doctor bills and all that. So there's no reason to do it. What I would hate to happen is Carolyn being up on the ladder, her back frees up on her, and she fall off the ladder. So it's just stupid to think that Carolyn needs to be out here helping me more when, first of all, this is my gift to her. This is what I wanted to provide her. So the other day when I made this mistake, I was feeling really bad about it. And she said, don't worry about it. It looks fine. I like it. It's nice. Don't worry about it. I can't hardly even see it. And I said, Carolyn, I know it's small, but I wanted to give you something nice. If she is happening to come out here and do it, then it's not a gift anymore. When she wants to do something and she sees something that she can do and I don't think it's going to injure her, then by all means, yeah, she did the interior wall. She wanted to design it herself. Excellent. Well, there it is. Got another one. Well, I can't celebrate too much. Because to the observant person, I did it on the wrong side. I took my measurements over here. And when I got the panel over here, it was backwards. So I had to put it over here. That's the last time I can make that mistake because after that, it won't happen again. What it is you have to work upside down and backwards when you're cutting. And it really causes a lot of confusion. And what I try to do is mentally pick the piece up, walk it over in my head and think, okay, that's how it's going to work. But I'm working way over there and I just guess I messed up. Now that I know what I've done wrong, again, learn from my mistakes. The last mistake I made, I've got down pat. I won't ever make that mistake again. So I'll never make this mistake again. I only got 3 more chances to mess up, and then I don't have to worry about it again. Once you get done learning from all your mistakes on these things, you become a master at it, and then you'll never have to do it again. So I really hope Carolyn likes her present. She comes up here and she just goos and gaws over it all day long. It's wonderful. But she was telling me a story a while back how she always wanted a cabin in the woods. And I know we're not in the most isolated area in the world, but she does have her woods, and she's got quite a bit of it, and it's beautiful. There's the perfect dream, and then there's the realistic dream. The perfect dream is you're out 1,000,000 miles away, you got forest with hundreds of thousands of acres, and no one's gonna ever bother you. But the reality is, we're not that financially set. We can't afford anything like that. We had to live within our means. We had to do this within our means. And we did it. I hope I can inspire you to give your spouse their dreams. Thanks for watching.